All right, let's start out by reading this problem and just kind of make some observations. A marble is in the shape of a sphere with a diameter of 13 millimeters. And this is nice. They give you a drawing. They tell you the diameter is 13 millimeters. And then they ask which measurement is closest, we don't have to be exact, closest to the volume of the marble in cubic millimeters. So the first thing I do, and this is pretty simple, I just look at the units and make sure they match what they're asking. So cubic millimeters is the same as millimeters cubed. So those are all good, so check. The next thing I do, I look for anything that might be not quite what I need. And I know the volume of a sphere, there's my sphere, is equal to 4/3 times pi times the radius cubed. Well, I'm not given the radius, I'm given the diameter. Okay, so one thing I've noticed on 8th grade tests is they have you do one little thing sometimes, just like a little extra something that you didn't have to do possibly in 7th grade. So 7th grade, they might just come right out and give you the radius. And so you don't have to think about that part. But 8th grade, a lot of times they do this. So, and that's just based on a lot of tests that I've gone through for both 7th and 8th grade. Okay, so 13 millimeters is the diameter, and the radius is half the diameter, so that's going to be 6.5 millimeters. If you don't see it right away, you can just divide 13 divided by 2 and get your radius. Okay, now we have everything we need so we can solve this problem. So I always like to write out the equation, and then I can plug in my value that I just figured out, 6.5, and then I can cube that. Okay, so now the next thing I want to do, I want to start out by doing the cube, 6.5 cubed. So let me get my calculator here, which you cannot see. 6.5 cubed is 274.625, so I'm going to round that to 6.3. Okay, and now because of the commutative property of multiplication, I can just I can multiply these in any order. It does not matter. So I'm going to multiply my 274.63 times pi, and then I'm going to multiply it times 4, and then I'm going to divide by 3. And I come up with 1,150.346. I'm going to round that to 3.5. That'll be millimeters cubed. And if you look at your answers, that's really obvious that A is your answer, because none of these other ones come close. But one thing that I want you to realize is that all of these answers are gettable with the equation if you miss one thing. I think the last one is using the diameter instead of the radius. And this one is using the diameter and leaving off the 4/3. This one is just leaving off the 4/3. So it's not just random answers here. They try to figure out where could you mess up, and they put those down. So if you get an answer, just double check, see if it makes sense to the best way that you can. Okay? All right, I hope this helps, and I will see you in the next one.